All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's city council meeting. If you haven't already, would you please silence your cell phones? City of Anamosa City Council Agenda Regular Session Monday, November 13th, 2023, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library and Learning Center. 1.0 roll call.
Crump,
Here.
Tukin,
Here.
Zumba,
Here.
Stout,
Here.
Albert.
Here.
Can we unmute Smith?
Not having success, Robert?
Oh, it should be unmuted. Kay, are you there?
I think so.
All right. So you just want to go ahead and ask her for attendance to say hi.
Okay. Yeah, she's here.
All right.
Thank you.
So sorry about that delay, everyone. We have 5 council members present in chambers and 1 that has called in via phone. We'll try to navigate through this evening. 2.0 Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
3.0 consent agenda review and approve. I will read each of the sub-line items. Council has the opportunity to consent agenda all of them as a bundle, or they can itemize individually. Item A, minutes from October 23rd, 2023 regular session. Item B, minutes of October 24th, 2023 special closed session. Item C, minutes of October 25th, 2023 special closed session. Item D, current bills. Item E, noise street closure permit applications.
Move to
approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Kay, second by Rich. Not hearing any other thing to go along with that, I will assume that this is a consent agenda.
It is.
Thank you. Council, do you have any discussions on those items bundled together under one motion? Does the public have any comment on them? Penny, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Schelberg,
Yes.
Motion to approve carried. 4.0 public hearings, none. 5.0 proclamations, none. 6.0 postponed items, none. 7.0 council action items. 7.1 project status update, HR Green.
Good evening, Josh Scanlon with HR Green. I'm here to answer any questions you should have in your council packet, a project update list from us. I know there's been some recent work on sidewalks. So if there's any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer what I can. We do have, I think, one other engineer that was supposed to be here to answer additional questions, so she's obviously running late.
See, we do have a line item later on sidewalks as well. Oh, no, we don't.
Well, there's a pay request.
Yes, my bad. I'm hearing any council, or excuse me, does the public have any questions? Comments? Josh, sounds like it's all good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being in attendance this evening representing HR Green. 7.2 report CDBG funding site visit and final report for Iowa Economic Development Authority.
Nothing particular on this. I just put this in the packet for the council to review. If you had a chance to glance through it, you'll notice that several of these things were specifically through the project administration. So a lot of this did not have to do with the city itself. There were a few items, however, some of the mailings that went out recently and was posted on the website. They caused quite a few phone calls. I noticed some of you, as well as City Hall, that was part of this. We were required by this program to mail those and place them out on our website. So as you can see in there, we met those requirements.
Council, any questions on the report that was provided to you in the packet? Public have any comment? 7.3 ordinance. Amending the Anamosa Code of Ordinances by repealing section 72.07 pertaining to golf cart registration requirements. First reading.
This is one of two ordinances on the agenda tonight, which have been needing to be addressed for a while. The registration requirements for golf carts. I'm not sure when the last time it was that this was actually a requirement or being enforced, but it was prior to my arrival in 2018. So the way it currently reads is the entire section of 7207 pertaining to the golf cart registration requirements. And the police department or anyone else in the city issues registration requirements for golf carts. So this is just to clean that up.
When previously, I'm not sure this was before I was on here, but golf cart and side-by-side ATVs, wasn't that part of one ordinance as far as where you can operate them and what hours and that?
It might have been previous. I don't recall, I guess, how long ago it was. They were separated out when the ATV and UTV ordinances became more popular, and then they separated those out.
This isn't changing some of the requirements. It just is eliminating registration.
Yes, correct.
Is there still a list of things people have to follow if they're gonna have a golf cart, like to be that's still out there? It
Yes.
must be a certain age and carry insurance and those type of things.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, motion to, looking for a motion, to repeal the registration.
Move to repeal the registration.
Second.
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Further council discussion. Public comment? Penny, please.
Smith. Hay. Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Gumbert,
Yes.
Crump.
Yes.
Kay, are you there?
At this point, the motion carried with 5 voting council members. We may have lost the one council member that's on the phone. 7.4 ordinance, amending the Anamosa Code of Ordinances by amending chapter 69.12 pertaining to downtown restricted parking. First reading.
This ordinance was put in here to match the signs that are currently downtown. If you've been downtown, you've seen the signs down there that restrict parking for more than or longer than 2 hours. Essentially, this is just to ensure that the signs have the proper ordinance backing those.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Teresa. Council, questions or comments? Public comment? Penny, please.
Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Gumbert,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith.
Motion carried with 5 yes votes from council in attendance. 7.5 ordinance, amending the Anamosa Code of Ordinances by repealing chapter 76 pertaining to bicycle licensing. First reading.
This one's very similar to the golf cart ordinance. I think except for one unique factor in that this is repealing an entire chapter. The entire chapter is pertaining to bicycle licensing. There's a separate chapter that deals with those restrictions specifically for operation of a bicycle. So it doesn't change any of that. Simply removes the bicycle licensing requirements and for the same reasons.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Council discussion. Public comment?
Do you know when the last time was we actually sold bike license?
I do not. When this is very similar. Like I said, when I arrived in 2018, we didn't have the stickers, forms, anything of that nature. So I'm not sure.
Okay,
Wasn't it, I mean, in a sense, you had recommended to council that we cease licensing just because of the labor intense, the stickers, everything that went along with that.
Yeah,
This is finalizing it.
this is finalizing it.
Okay.
I guess what was the benefit previously if we were doing this? What potentially is the benefit to the city?
I don't know that there is a benefit. By the time we would conduct, this would have been early on, in my time as chief, when I sat down and tried to calculate any cost benefit out of it. By the time you figured the amount of time to purchase the stickers, record the stickers, keep track of those, I think we would be spending far more time and money on them than what we would get out of any benefit for them, especially at, I don't recall, less than $1 for each sticker. So I don't think there was any benefit to it.
Any other comments or questions from council? Penny, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
The motion carried with 6 council members voting yes. 7.6, resolution 2023-73. Approving the hiring and setting salary for the position of Parks and Recreation Director for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Alan. Council discussion. Public comment. Penny?
Stout,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Motion carried. 7.7, resolution 2023-74. Amending the existing lease agreement with Access Systems due to the addition of office equipment, print copy fax machine.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Rich, second by Alan. Council discussion. Public comment. Penny?
Calvert,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Motion carried. 7.8, resolution 2023-75. Approving the master agreement for municipal engineering services with HR Green Incorporated. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alan, second by Rich. Council discussion.
So my only thoughts on this, as I understand, this is kind of in lieu of having like the county as a staff engineer to keep the city's best interest. So my only concern is the majority of the projects are being engineered by HR Green right now. I guess can they look out for the city's best interest if they have the majority of these projects? To me, it should be like an unbiased separate party, type thing. I know they're not the cheapest and they have the majority of the projects. So that's the only thing or like if they're representing and overseeing the city, can they still be bidding future projects? Because to me, that would be a conflict. Just thoughts.
Josh may be able to answer some questions on this. I think in that regard, we'll eventually end up in that scenario, regardless of what external engineer that we might choose. Essentially, this is our first step or our go-to, and in the case of any project that we might have, it would be much like a phone call to our attorneys if we were ever dealing with something. It's just that it would be HR Green to say, we're undertaking or planning to undertake this project. If it's something that they could or would be willing to do for us, they would still do so. If they needed to refer it on or provide other specialized or technical advice, they would be able to do that also.
Josh, can you move forward, please?
In terms of looking out for the city's best interest, one thing I did want to note is as licensed engineers, we are ethically bound under our licensure to be looking out for you as our client in terms of the best interest. So that's not something, I mean, that's something we take seriously and as all as licensed engineers. In terms of a completely independent viewpoint, we would not necessarily be not typically contracting with one of another consultant to independently review us. We do have independent staff members that would be outside of the project that we would typically use as part of a quality assurance, quality control plan, but they would be another HR Green employee. So and did that answer your question, council member?
I mean, yes, if you just take a step back and look at it, it just doesn't. I know we need something, but it just doesn't seem like that's like in the case with the attorney, you know, it's a totally third party. Their only job is to legally look out for us. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but
Well, I know what Jeff's saying. I mean, theoretically, if you guys are heading up the project, there should be another engineering firm reviewing the process. So if you're doing the project, you're not controlling the whole scenario. Which you are, even though you are using other staff members. But I don't know that you've built any buildings for us or have done anything like that. So you could review those like you would have reviewed the fire station or some other projects, or review MMS when they're doing the layouts for developments and so forth. You would do
Sure.
those reviews.
Yep.
But right now we don't have anybody reviewing anything of any nature. So this would be that first step to at least review some of those other projects.
That's exactly correct.
I think along the lines of that, we've got other, we just had site plans, for example, that were reviewed, so they don't necessarily involve HR Green as part of that, but we really need that engineering consulting, that specialized or technical knowledge to be able to go and I guess do what a county or city engineer would normally do on our behalf. So
We've run into situations where we felt that we're being kind of run over a few times, and this would alleviate that. HR Green, as long as I've been on the council, seems to have had a good track record. If they decide to step off the track, we would find out in time, and that would not be good for anybody. So I mean, we have to trust somebody. I mean, that's the point I'm making.
My thoughts are just if things are going good now, but if we were to take a turn and be in a situation like a recent project that we've had, not with you guys, but if they would have been appointed in the past to be the city's engineer, and they were doing that project, and if things aren't going good and the engineering firm isn't representing us best, but you follow what I'm saying. I guess I'm not being the most clear here, but if on a past project out here on the 4-lane, if we would have had that, they would have been one and the same doing the project and overseeing it, that would have complicated things even more. I just feel like it's hard to assign future engineering work to someone that's overseeing us. Like in my head, I don't know if they would do it, but would the county engineer ever, that type of thing where on an hourly basis do that?
yeah, I didn't check into that. I understand what you're saying though. I think there's no way to avoid that unless you have a staffed engineer on.
Yeah. Well, the thought too is if you looked into someone that could be dedicated to being the reviewer, and that they would kind of abstain themselves from bidding. So either you're doing the projects or you're overseeing, but not doing both.
Well, some of my thoughts is by, in a sense, assigning or naming an engineering firm to represent the city And somewhat along the same lines as you do a city attorney. It gives you some consistency, continuity. It makes it part of the city's comprehensive plan. You're bringing them in very early on for some of this review and direction. When it comes to the work within a project, it becomes no different than if it wasn't HR Green doing it. That they now provide that oversight, knowing there's that direct link back to the city. That's where it gives me somewhat of more of a warm comfort feeling that things are gonna be done right. Because we have a partnership or a much stronger relationship with that engineering firm. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I think it just adds a element of consistency. And if they know the direction the city wants to go for the future, they can help guide
Yes.
to that point. Instead of we jump from this engineer to that engineer to this engineer and they all pick up on different ideas.
There was one project that I think everybody knows that we dealt with, that it would have been nice to have them kind of right in the background watching it, because I think we would have saved ourselves some money, quite a bit, actually.
Background, hell, riding shotgun with us.
Just to clarify, this on-call contract does not mean that it is an exclusive thing for HR Green to be doing all engineering work in town either. So this would be just basically covering the basis of on-call work. We would be giving you, this is a task, this is our estimate in terms of what it would take for us to do that for you. And then at any time you can say, no, thanks. If there's a big capital improvement project, we would be most likely more than happy to submit a proposal for it, but it doesn't mean that you are tied necessarily exclusively to HR Green either. So, and if that helps to just clarify the process.
I think it does.
Okay.
But I certainly appreciate, Jeff, that you raising those questions to get that answer or that clarification. Any other questions, comments from council? Penny, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Stout,
No.
Zumba,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith. Crump,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes. We had 4 yes votes, 1 no vote, and we may have lost communication with the council member on the phone. So,
Can you hear me now?
yes.
yes,
It's a yes vote for me.
All right, thank you, Kay. So that's 5 yes votes on the motion and 1 opposed. Motion carries. 7.9, this item no longer needs to be up for discussion or action tonight, as I don't want to say it's been resolved, but there was an error, and I'll just leave it at that. 7.10, review and approve application for Kaylee Rule to join the Anamosa Volunteer Fire Department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich. I think Alan got in there before you, Teresa, so the second was by Alan. Council discussion. Public comment. Benny, could you conduct a roll vote, please?
Zumba,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Motion to approve carried. 7.11, review and approve supplemental agreement number 1 from HR Green for the 3rd Street Sidewalk Extension Project.
Evening. Do you have any questions?
Would you state your name,
I'm
please?
sorry, Melissa Clove, with the HR Green.
All right, thank you. I guess I would wait for a motion, but council may be lingering on that. Within the supplemental, are you looking to bring on this reconfiguration of it being a single lane of traffic flowing with a turning lane in the center?
Yes, that
And
would,
I'm looking at more like a bike or walking trail on the
Correct.
outer edges.
it would be a 4-lane to a 3-lane conversion. And that was based on the public meeting that we had last month. There was some interest in trying to do some traffic calming and control the speeds. So speaking with the DOT, this is the ideal location based on the traffic counts for that configuration. And it would also help us to get funding for the sidewalk because it would provide the bicycle facility as well.
You know the starting points for this configuration? Where along
It,
the traffic flow?
for the conversion, it would be from the interchange at 151 all the way up to Scott and Main. Because that was one thing I looked at was where it would make sense to end that, but we do carry that 4-lane to the intersection at Scott and Main. And then the interchange going east would be a 10-foot bike trail. So that would be a possibility when it isn't, if it's something that the city doesn't want to move forward with, that it doesn't have to happen, but it would definitely help with the funding and with the traffic calming.
Aside from the funding, and we are all about assistance and spending someone else's money than out of our own pocket. Do you also believe this is a strong safety factor
Yes,
with that flow of traffic versus
Yep.
pedestrians or bicyclists?
absolutely. Also with us putting the sidewalk in and creating the crosswalk at Oak, it would help with safety for children crossing the street there or residents in general.
And then lastly, in my travels, I see more of this reconfiguration in smaller communities such as Anamosa. Sometimes the public, it takes some getting used to before they are welcome to it. But I do see this more in my travels than what we currently have.
It's been something that's been efficiently used in larger cities as well. So it's something the DOT is talks very favorably about at this point. So.
Thank you.
So just touching on that, which side of the street are you, I guess, going to designate for the sidewalk? And
So at this time, I'm showing the sidewalk on the south side from Shaw to Oak, where we would have a crosswalk. And then it would continue on the north side, all the way to the interchange, where it would turn into a 10-foot bike trail and remain on the north side.
Okay.
There'd be a crossover to get to like the hospital or a Walmart and that side of the road, I guess there is maybe a crosswalk already.
There's pedestrian push buttons. But yes, there would be a crosswalk.
Also, I guess,
I'd move to approve this.
thank you, Alan.
You're quite welcome.
I'll second.
That's what I was gonna ask for. So we have a motion by Alan and second by
Keep
Rich,
looking at me, I might as well.
uh, to approve this, supplemental agreement. Further council discussion. Public comment. Penny, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Tukin,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
Yes,
Smith,
yes,
Motion to approve, period. Melissa, thank you for providing some insight and you being in attendance.
You're visiting family or friends, or if you're traveling for business.
7.12, I'm trying to speak up. Review and approve consent agenda. Pay request totaling $21,023.64. I will read the items. There's several, and then council can make a motion to approve consent, or they can itemize and bundle any together they wish. Item A from HR Green in the amount of $750 for the wastewater treatment disinfection system CPS project. Item B from HR Green in the amount of $140 for the Sycamore Street resurfacing and ADA ramps project. Item C from HR Green in the amount of $1,645 for the Third Street sidewalk extension project. Item D from HR Green in the amount of $435.50 for the Cedar and Hoover reconstruction project. Item E from HR Green in the amount of $320 for GIS services. Item F from Martin Garner Architecture in the amount of $5,872.89 for the downtown revitalization project phase 2. Item G from Snyder and Associates in the amount of $1,448.25 for the Second Street Lift Station Improvement Project Phase 2. Item H from Snyder and Associates in the amount of $10,412 for the US 151 grade separation and roundabout project.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Jeff. Consent motion. Council discussion. Public comment. Penny?
Crump,
Yes.
Gombert,
Yes.
Stout,
Yes.
Zumba,
yes,
Tukin,
Yes.
Smith,
yes,
Motion to approve consent, carried. 8.0 City Administrators Report.
City Hall just finalizing the annual financial report. Currently working through the annual urban renewal report and a couple of weeks, I think, left accepting the deputy city clerk opening, accepting candidates for that position. That's about it.
Council have any questions for Jeremiah? Jeremiah, thank you for that report. 9.0 Mayor and Council reports. 9.1 Mayor's report. I really have nothing to report other than congratulations to the individuals that were elected for city council members. And also thank you for those others for taking the initiative to either be write-in. Well, I guess there was no other ones that put their name and took papers out, so. Congratulations and thank you. That is all I have. 9.2 council reports. 10.0 public comment for items not on the agenda.
Steve Agnes, Utility Superintendent. Just wanted, if you guys have noticed, Second Street, Pierce Tobin is here working on the force main. Be going up Lynn also. Possibly next week, we could have some construction on Third. A lot of it is gonna depend on what Mother Nature does, but they're putting pipe in the ground right now, so get that as far as they can before it gets too cold. So
Future looks pretty good for the work then, doesn't it?
it does look good. If they had about 3 weeks, they think they could get the whole force main put in, but they don't know if they're gonna have that much time of good weather, so.
Understand.
But it is going forward.
Thanks for the update on that, Steve. Anyone else? 11.0 adjournment. This evening's meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your evening to attend.